What if you don't have a courtyard? What if you've got a courtyard that's full of concrete or paving? Well, here's the option. I came across this magnificent glazed pot. It is absolutely beautiful, and the pot is so big, look, I could put somebody in it, and that could be me. So what we're going to do is we are going to plant this baby up with the most amazing tropical scene to show you that you can combine different things and get the look of the garden of Exhale. The plants that we're using could very easily be in a shaded spot, say under a tree or something, or under the eaves, but not in the full sun. Right, let's get to it. First up, we are going to need some drainage stones, some gravel. I've just got some ordinary 12mm chip gravel here, cheapest that you can get for drainage stones, and I'm going to bomb it in the bottom of the pot. FYI, guys, wherever you want this pot to be, that's where you plant it. And then we're going to put in some potting soil. The potting soil, I've already added some bone meal, some coconut peat, and a handful of organic pellets, okay? Right, in it goes. Nice, all right. Right, folks, potting soil is in, just over halfway, and I just literally use my hand just to firm it down so that when I do put the plants in here, they're all just not going to sink away and disappear. Okay, first up, I've got this big boy. It's a Strelitzia Nicolai. It's the wild indigenous Strelitzia. If you had to let this plant go in a garden, it would get 4 or 5 meters in height. It's got the height that I'm needing because this pot is so wide. You can't go put one little plant in here. It's just going to look pathetic. So we take him, and what we want to pay attention to here is which side is this pot going to be viewed from? Where are we going to get it? So I've got the wall here, so I want that guy just to go about there. Get your pair of secateurs, all right? Slip it down the side of the bag. Then all we do is grab the plant and take off the plastic sleeve. Nice and simple. Okay, we can get rid of that. Now take a look at the final height here, folks. Do you see that? You always want to leave a lip once your soil level has been reached, so that either you can cover it with beautiful pebbles, and especially if you're going to water it, that when you do water it, the water doesn't just bubble over the edge. And let's just get rid of all of these dead bits here. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I've got this beautiful philodendron. This is an awesome plant. Now, it used to be very popular in the 70s. So same thing as before. We're going to pop it in here, and let's just take the sleeve off. I really want to get some movement in it, so I'm going to move him just slightly forward and put him at a bit of an angle. All right, next plant in, I'm going to be using my Monstera. Gorgeous, great indoor plant, fantastic for low light because it grows just about anywhere. And look, we're going with a change in leaf now. Really quite a gorgeous indoor plant. So I'm going to pop around here, guys, and because it's in a pot, makes life much easier. Out she comes. Ooh, beautiful. It's looking all very green, you would admit. So what do we need for a bit of pop of color? If you're about my age, you would remember growing up with this plant. It's called a croton. Every person living in any tropical area had hundreds of them growing in their gardens. And everybody that came from the Transvaal, which was then called, or Gauteng, or any cold parts of South Africa, arrived in the tropical regions, bought hundreds of them because they fell in love with them, and took them back to their gardens and they frosted. Funny story, but true. So, how do you look after this plant if you are living in cold areas? Just like I'm doing now, it will be on the patio, it will be happy as long as it's away from the frost. Very important, okay. So, we all agree, we need a bit more color in here. Crotons color up in winter. And it also is a good indoor house plant. So you could take it and literally put it into a pot, into a well-lit area, and it'll do the thing. Now we're cooking. Do you see how the colors are now all starting to work together? Now we can fill up with soil a little bit more because our other plants are much smaller. Next thing, I'm going to start playing with a bit of color. I've got this beautiful bromeliad here, and I've got a Scindapsus, both great as indoor plants. Remember, with all bromeliads, when the mother plant dies off, the new babies will start shooting, so it just looks after itself and goes on and on. Going in here, I'm going to start with that baby. and pop it straight into there. Okay, perfect. And then I've got this beautiful bromeliad, which we actually just ripped out the garden because they are so tough. And this baby is going to just be perfect here. So there we go. Pop them in there. And these guys really are incredibly forgiving as well. You can just take them, tie them up against trees with a bit of moss, and off they go. All I want to do now is just finish off a bit at the back. So guys, I've got this big gap over here and it really doesn't look very attractive. So what I'm going to pop in there is this philodendron with the lovely white stems, and it looks gorgeous. And remember, white always lifts things and it just gives you a nice color contrast. Pop her in right here. For a pop of color, a little more of a tropical feel, I've got this wonderful anthurium, and these guys as well will go on flowering loads and loads and loads. When the flower dies off, all you've got to do is just make sure that you cut it off so that you encourage it to flower some more. Right, the last two plants, folks, and I've got this beautiful freesia. Look at that zebra leaf. I mean, isn't it gorgeous? Once again, they perform and they grow the same as normal bromeliads. Very, very soon, a young plant, what we call a pup, will be shooting off here, and then this major plant, the mother plant, will start dying off. They throw these flowers once or twice a year, and this little baby is literally going to go right into this little hole that's here. As soon as I pop this in, boom, it just comes alive. And this really is giving us that tropical look that we were wanting. And then last plant on this side. Right, and this little baby is our final gem that's going in here. Isn't she cute? One of the lowest, smaller growing little freesias. And open this Scindapsus a bit and then pop her in here. So it looks like she's just peeping through underneath there. And folks, there you have one big jungle happening in one big pot. Right, folks, last up is to get a damp cloth, soft cloth, just wipe it with some ordinary cold water, and that you can do literally once a month just as maintenance to clean the leaves, because the leaves get blocked up by dust and then the plants don't transpire and grow properly. Most times the reason why we kill indoor plants or patio plants is because we water them too much. Finally, once every 10 days, get a liquid plant food that you dilute into water. So as you're watering, so you're feeding it. When some of the leaves start browning off and dying, literally it's getting your pair of secateurs and just snipping them off. And this jungle is going to be very happy for a very, very long time.